also, it's Asia Wilson's retirement jersey day, right? And, well, her prices for her game are high.
Did you hear this one? They're now selling $16 tickets to a jersey retirement ceremony for a WNBA MVP. Sounds like a total steal, right? But hold on, it's not what it seems. Those $16 tickets are for Aya Wilson's big night in South Carolina. Meanwhile, over in Iowa, Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement, happening on the exact same day, has fans dropping up to $300 just for a standing room spot. Yeah, you heard that right, $300 to stand, not even sit. It's like watching two worlds collide in women's basketball. One side struggling to fill seats, and the other side breaking records before the event even starts.
Two iconic names, one historic date. On February 2nd, 2025, women's basketball will celebrate Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark in ways that cement their legacies forever. As fans debate whose impact is greater, ticket sales tell a story of their own, with Clark's jersey retirement commanding prices more typical of marquee NBA games. We're well past that, folks.
Here's the crazy part. Wilson's ceremony isn't even sold out. Thousands of empty seats still up for grabs. Meanwhile, Iowa's scrambling to open more sections because fans just keep coming. It's absolute chaos. People refreshing ticket sites like it's a Taylor Swift concert. Both ceremonies celebrate greatness. Both are on the same day. But the difference in demand is jaw-dropping. And now, people are asking, how does Aya feel about all this? She's not saying much publicly, but the silence is loud. Something about this double booking feels personal, and fans can sense it.
Asia Wilson, the cornerstone of South Carolina's rise to prominence, will see her number 22 jersey retired at Colonial Life Arena when the Gamecocks face Auburn. A lot of people are pissed that this is the second day, or the same day. Now, I say a lot of people, Asia Wilson fans are pissed that it's the same day.
Here's what's absolutely wild. The ticket price gap between these two ceremonies is bigger than a flight from South Carolina to Iowa. We're talking a $284 difference. Let that sink in. For IRS jersey retirement, you can walk in for $16. That's less than a large pizza and a soda combo. But for Clark's, fans are shelling out $300 for the standing room only section. No chair, no cushion, just vibes and chaos. It's like comparing a dollar menu burger to a Michelin star meal. Both are food, but the experience? Night and day. That's the level of buzz Clark brings. She's turned a jersey ceremony into a national spectacle.
Here comes Clark. How will she go for history?
Fitting on Logo 3. Let's hear it one more time for number 22, Caitlin Clark.
So why are Aya Wilson's tickets struggling even at bargain bin prices? This isn't some random benchwarmer. We're talking about a two-time WNBA MVP, Olympic gold medalist, and one of the best forwards of her generation. But somehow, the excitement just isn't hitting the same. It's almost like the general public doesn't even know this event is happening. Think about it. $16 at a sports arena usually buys you a hot dog, a soda, and maybe parking if you're lucky. But here, that same $16 gets you in the door to watch history. You'd expect people to flood the place. Instead, crickets. That says a lot, not just about Wilson, but about the way the WNBA markets its biggest stars.
From far as I can tell, Caitlin Clark fans don't give a rip about Asia Wilson's jersey retirement.
Now switch scenes to Iowa. It's total madness. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement is basically a mini Super Bowl. Fans are calling it a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Iowa's had to open new seating sections just to handle the demand, and even then, tickets are flying faster than a Clark Step Back 3. People are driving in from other states, camping outside arenas, and paying premium prices just to be inside the same building. Standing room tickets alone are going for $300 and still selling out. The energy is electric, like the arena's turning into the epicenter of women's sports. Clark's ceremony isn't just an event, it's a cultural happening.
However, in Iowa City, the retirement of Caitlin Clark's number 22 jersey at Carver Hawkeye Arena during Iowa's game against USC is shaping up to be a much bigger spectacle. And of course, this was a tweet that went out talking about $200 to $784 with a bunch of tickets listed over 1,000.
From where I'm standing, Clark's fans don't seem to care about Wilson's ceremony at all. But this isn't just a random ticket price debate, it's symbolic. It's showing us exactly where women's basketball is headed. Fans are literally voting with their wallets. The sport is evolving right in front of us, and this day, this double retirement day, feels like a marker in history. It's not about disrespecting Wilson, it's about how the fan base has shifted. The casual viewers, the young fans, the new energy in the game, they're all orbiting around Clark. And the numbers prove it.
I was like in tears, y'all.
This, by the way, is driving A'ja Wilson fans nuts. They're furious that this is happening on the same day. Why are they doing this? Oh my God, don't they realize the impact of A'ja Wilson? Blah, blah. What impact? Stop it.
But here's where it gets deep. This isn't just about stardom or stats. It's about connection. Caitlin Clark has done something very few athletes ever achieve. She's transcended the sport. She's not just a player anymore. She's a brand, a movement, a household name. Wilson, on the other hand, has the resume, the rings, and the respect, but she hasn't crossed that mainstream threshold. This moment, these dueling ceremonies, perfectly represent the current divide in women's basketball. Who moves the culture, and who dominates the court. Clark's impact reaches beyond hoops. She's turning casual watchers into lifelong fans. That's a power even MVP trophies can't always buy.
Be the last to wear number 22, and you'll become the third Hawkeye women's basketball player in history to have her number retired.
And that is what Beth Getz had to say back in April as the Hawks wrapped up their second straight national runner-up season.
You'd think after 6 long years, A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement would be an easy W, a moment of pure celebration. But sometimes even the cleanest layups bounce off the rim. Let's break it down. On February 2nd, 2025, 2 ceremonies collide. Caitlin Clark's in Iowa City and A'ja Wilson's in Columbia, South Carolina. Same day, same honor, but completely opposite energy. Iowa's expecting a sold-out, nationally televised, star-studded event. South Carolina, still trying to fill rows. It's the kind of awkward scheduling that turns what should have been Wilson's shining moment into a side story on Twitter. For fans of women's basketball, it's both exciting and kind of uncomfortable.
Iowa taking on USC and Juju Watkins, nationally televised game, I believe. February 2nd, 2-2, so it's 22. Everything about it lines up.
So how did this double booking disaster even happen? Turns out, Iowa had their plans set in motion way back in April 2024, right after Clark wrapped up her college career. Even though they hadn't announced the date publicly, everyone in the know expected February 2nd. Clark's number is 22, and the symbolism was too perfect to ignore. Add in a huge weekend matchup against USC and Juju Watkins, and Iowa was making chess moves while everyone else was still setting up the board. They chose their only nationally televised home game weekend. Pure marketing genius. They knew Clark's name alone could draw a nationwide audience. And they were absolutely right.
One of the sentiments that was expressed was, oh, it's the same day as A'ja Wilson's. How can you do? First of all, I remember them announcing A'ja Wilson was getting her jersey retired, but I didn't remember the date or anything. When the Clark news broke, I didn't think about A'ja Wilson. And again, as is the case with Caitlin Clark, this only is going to bring more attention to A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement.
But here's where it gets juicy. South Carolina didn't actually lock in their date until months after Iowa. Once the Clark celebration was quietly taking shape, South Carolina came forward announcing A'ja Wilson's ceremony for the same day. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans aren't buying it. Both stars were the number 22, so it made sense on paper. But the optics are rough. The internet immediately exploded, people calling out the timing, accusing planners of trying to compete with Clark's moment. And Wilson's supporters? They're heated. One viral post said, "Why would y'all retire her jersey the same day as Clark? Are you serious?" It's messy, emotional, and spreading online faster than a Clark highlight reel.
But that is a supply and demand thing, especially in today's day and age where there's no such thing as a sellout, right? Where you can go to any event you want as long as you're willing to pay for it because of the secondary ticket market.
Let's rewind a bit. Clark and Wilson don't really have bad blood, at least, not officially. They've barely crossed paths, professionally or personally. But this situation, It's pouring gasoline on a spark that didn't need to exist. Imagine showing up to your own party only to realize someone else just threw a bigger one across town. That's what this feels like for Aya Wilson. 6 years after dominating for South Carolina, she's finally getting her number raised to the rafters, only to share the spotlight with the biggest name in women's basketball right now. You can't script irony like that.
And South Carolina waited years and years to retire Asia's.
Meanwhile, over in Iowa, the entire Clark celebration feels like an event straight out of Hollywood. Iowa's been planning this since her final college game. They built the hype step by step, saving it for a weekend, picking a marquee matchup, making sure every network camera would be there. They've even had Clark's jersey ready since summer, quietly waiting for the perfect reveal. South Carolina, on the other hand, waited 6 full years to honor Wilson, and that delay is now backfiring. It's hard to convince fans something's a big deal when it took that long to make it happen, especially after Wilson already got her statue unveiled months ago.
And we'll get to compare the ratings, because I would assume that game against Auburn will be televised somewhere. Now, whether or not it's nationally televised, like I think the Iowa game's going to end up being, I don't know. But look, when it comes to tickets, it's a supply and a demand issue. It's that simple. It's a good way to gauge one's popularity.
So yeah, it's not hard to see why Aya is frustrated. What should have been her moment, her long overdue spotlight, now feels overshadowed. Not because Clark planned it that way, but because of timing and momentum. Clark's star power has gone supernova, and Wilson's day suddenly feels like an afterthought. But here's the real twist. This isn't just about 2 ceremonies or 2 stars. It's about what's happening to the entire sport. Women's basketball is shifting, and this situation is the perfect mirror. The fans, the media, the viewership, all moving toward a new era. This Double 22 day might go down as the moment everything changed.
Grandmother's Kathleen Doyle or Sam Logic, so that number holds a lot of weight, far beyond my name, and I guess I'm just really grateful, and it'll be a special.
Remember how we said the story isn't over? Let's talk numbers. Ticket prices, attendance, and buzz don't just reflect fan interest. They shape TV deals, sponsorships, and the league's direction. Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena is expected to be bursting at the seams. Every seat filled, the crowd roaring like it's a Final Four matchup. Over in South Carolina, the atmosphere looks quieter. Sure, it'll be emotional for die-hard Gamecock fans, but compared side by side, it's like watching a blockbuster premiere next to a small community screening. And that gap, in energy, coverage, and excitement, is the new reality of women's basketball.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with 2 schools retiring respective jerseys on the same day. But secondly, if you wanted the focus to be on A'ja Wilson, she'll probably get more attention as the second, most recognized jersey retirement of that day than she would have if she had the stage all to herself on that.
Here's where it gets even more obvious. Clark's ceremony is airing nationally on Fox Sports. Millions will be watching, sharing clips, reacting online. It's set up as a made-for-TV moment. Clark versus Juju Watkins, USC versus Iowa, the perfect headline matchup. Meanwhile, Wilson's retirement? No broadcast confirmed. None. It's like releasing a movie straight to DVD while your competitor's premiering on IMAX. It's not about respect, it's about reach. Clark's story is everywhere. ESPN, TikTok, late-night talk shows. Wilson's lost in the noise. And it's a harsh reminder that attention, not talent, drives modern sports.
And then there was, Iowa is rushing this. They're rushing, or everything is rushed with Caitlin Clark. No, she just did things faster and garnered more attention and more notoriety and celebrity and celebration and popularity.
Think about the numbers for a second. Clark's 2024 national championship game pulled in a massive 18.7 million viewers. Now compare that to the 2023 WNBA All-Star Game featuring Aya Wilson, just 850,000 viewers. That's a 22 times difference. The math doesn't lie. Clark didn't just bring eyes. She brought new fans, families, and sponsors. She's changing how people engage with women's basketball. And while Wilson's talent is undeniable, her skill set elite, her accolades unmatched, she never became a ratings magnet. It's the difference between a small ember and a wildfire. And right now, Caitlin Clark is burning bright enough to light the whole league.
So long before Caitlin Clark plays another basketball game, yet she can still dominate some of this discussion and still is on people's minds.
So, is this a bigger sign for the sport itself? Absolutely. What we're seeing is a turning point. Clark isn't just another superstar, she's a movement. She's made women's basketball appointment viewing again. The numbers, the energy, the ticket sales, it's proof of evolution. The game's no longer fighting for relevance, it's commanding it. And while Wilson represents the excellence that built the foundation, Clark represents the wave that's pushing it forward. Together, they tell the full story. How women's hoops is finally entering its golden era, fueled by fandom, visibility, and unshakable momentum.
But with everybody else, especially those who claim they don't like Caitlin Clark or she's getting too much attention, they sure seem to be the first to comment on anything that's going on.
But here's the thing, this whole saga isn't just about Clark versus Wilson. It's about the future. A few years ago, women's basketball barely trended online. No. Every highlight, every controversy, every tweet becomes a global conversation. Fans aren't waiting for ESPN anymore. They are ESPN. Everyone with a phone is part of the debate. And this double retirement weekend is feeding that energy like never before. The question now is, are these fan reactions just noise? Or are they shaping what women's basketball becomes next?
She came to college as a basketball prodigy, but no one thought she would be this good, because no one ever had been before.
It's Caitlin Clark's world, and we're all just living in it.
Social media's on fire, and it's splitting fans down the middle. On one side, you've got Team Clark, celebrating their queen like she's royalty. On the other, Team Wilson, furious their MVP isn't getting the same love. Clark's announcement racked up over 300,000 impressions in just 2 hours. That's wild. Wilson's, barely a ripple. The comments are brutal. One viral post said, "Tell Aya to move her date." The face of the WNBA retires hers that day. That's the internet for you. Passionate, ruthless, and louder than ever. These aren't just comments. They're shaping perception, pushing narratives, and deciding who gets crowned as the sport's next icon.
Greatest women's player there ever was? Maybe it's debatable, but at the very least, she'll be in that debate forever. Her now famous Hawkeye jersey was 2 twos, but she was 1 of 1.
But here's what most people miss. All that online noise? It's actually data. Engagement, clicks, views. It's what sponsors and networks look at when they decide who to promote. And right now, Clark's engagement isn't just higher, it's in another galaxy. This new fan loyalty isn't about who's got the most rings anymore. It's about who can capture hearts, headlines, and hashtags. And if social media is the new court of public opinion, the verdict's already in. Clark's walking away with the win.